Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to today's hashtag Spill the Beans. If you've never seen me before, I am Tara Priolo. I am your resident white-facing, biracial, multi-passionate musician. I'm an opera singer, brand coach, voice teacher, and activist, and I talk about the ish that nobody wants to talk about and push you to do the same. Spill the Beans is a once-a-week chat where we talk about everything under the sun. We've been doing a couple of series. We had 4 weeks on auditioning and creating your own opportunities, and then we've had 3 weeks on sort of being a crowd favorite versus being a company favorite. We're going to take a pause on that today because I want to talk about something that I feel like is really important and something that I am sort of shifting in my content as well, in the way that I communicate with people, and I want to bring those expectations here, as well as share some events from the event post and my But Also newsletter that I posted today. So grab a drink, come on back, let's get started. I wanted to talk about consent and boundaries. I will be making more specific videos and more specific carousels to this on my page that I will pin, and things like specific to the topics that I talk about. So voice, activism, that sort of thing. There'll be specific things. But the one that I want to talk about today is a boundary about DMs and sending people to my DMs. So even if I know you, something that I think we should normalize as a society is asking people if they have the spoons to hear something, or for you to ask a deeper, more labor inducive question. So let's just normalize, like, hey, do you have the space to for me to ask this question today? Hey, do you have the space to have this deep conversation with me today? It's not that hard, and it's just a little extra step, and it is a notion of consent. This is also a way of like gently checking in on your people, is be like, hey, do you have the spoons to hear this today? And if they say no, then you're like, oh, did you need space to vent to me? I have space to talk to you. So it's a way of checking in on people. It's a way to give consent, and it's a way to make sure that it's okay to ask a person for more emotional labor, particularly when you're asking a marginalized person for those things. Okay. And so when you are speaking with me in DMs, for the most part, if you're like asking me a more complicated question, I would love for you to ask me first, hey, do you have the spoons to do this? And if you're sending people to my page because like they have a question that you think I can answer, please just make them aware of that. And if people don't ask that question first and they send me a big DM block of questions that is coaching specific or DEI specific, I will usually respond with, hi, I've read your message, but I'm going to take a few days until I have more capacity to answer this question. So also don't get offended by that boundary. I am also very clear in my stories, specifically in my stories, and oftentimes in if I'm posting something that's DEI based, I will say like respectful comments only, or if I'm talking about something sort of heavier in my stories, I will say my DMs are open. And if I don't say that, that means that I don't really want to have a discussion with you where I'm having to do more emotional labor or any labor or educational labor on this topic, because I'm sharing one-to-many instead of one-to-one, and the expectation of one-to-one education in the way that you deem is appropriate, that's not my business. So anyway, that's a boundary, and it's also just good to practice consent. So I encourage you to practice that question with your friends, as well as in my DMs, please and thank you. I'm going to stop it and then I'm going to come back. And BT dubs, this is not me silencing voices. This is just me acknowledging that I have a capacity that I get to, and sometimes that capacity gets hit, and sometimes I can't handle it anymore. So that's why I'm keeping it this way. Consent is cool. Okay, consent is cool. Let's practice it together as a community. My page is a community, so act like it. Okay, that's all for Spill the Beans. Continue to be anti-racist. Be safe. Make good trouble. Do good work. And I love y'all hardcore. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.